Yeah, just a quick comment. I'm a district judge in LA, so I sort of practice in the First Amendment world. And, it seems to me we're dealing with the marketplace of ideas versus the fact that propaganda kills. And I just would like your opinion about whether you think that the sort of new social media model we have now presents an existential threat to our democracy. So let's sort of see at what level this discussion really belongs. And the other thing is, what do you do in a situation where, when you read that 20% of Americans, or some number around that, they don't understand cause and effect. They don't know if they went to a public or private school. And don't we need to sort of take it down in terms of basic issues about education, maybe fund public television 24 hours a day so we have competing news cycles, and just sort of work on core issues?
Let me just summarize the question and ask you both to quickly answer, because it's a great question, the existential threat one. Can this problem be solved? Both of you, very quickly.
No. It can't.
Alex, what do you think?
It cannot be solved. It can be managed, right? Because
can it be sufficiently addressed that democracy will survive? How about that?
Yes.
Yes, you can look back and find New York Times articles about how radio and television and everything else is destroying democracy. Our society adapts. And that's the benefit of, it's an old person problem, is that young people are already adapting to this kind of multipolar media universe in which they have to be less trustworthy of the things they see. So I think in the long run, our democracy will be stronger because, again, Me Too, Black Lives Matter, these were things that were happening in the 80s, but because there are a handful of gatekeepers who did not represent those equities, they did not happen. And so I think we're going to take the good with the bad, and I think we're going to adjust as a society. We're going to survive.
The global context, though, is what really is different here, right? Which, yes, there's prior, times of disinformation and the like, but thinking about how you have new international structures that are not, simply for-profit companies that are going to be regulating the speech marketplace is the key question.
So we need those, are you
yes,
saying?
well, and then how do you, the whole idea of globalization is politically polarizing right now. So if you start thinking about international organizations that are going to be setting the rules for political speech around the world, right, that has a particular political valence.
And it's not going to do anything. We're moving to a internet cold war where everybody in the world is using platforms that are either made by Americans or by the Chinese, right? And so you can't discount the fact that WeChat and Tencent and Weibo and Baidu are national.
TikTok.
TikTok has a massive child safety issue. It's incredible.
It's the fastest growing one of them all. That's why I keep mentioning it.
And a number of U.S. companies wanted to buy them, and the Chinese blocked it because the Chinese are smart about using TikTok.
100 million accounts in the U.S. on TikTok, which is owned by the Chinese.
Which is a huge mechanism for gathering.
It's a short video social media platform that's primarily used by young teenagers. Any young teenager knows all about it.
It will make no sense to anybody in this room, and it is a massive intelligence gathering operation by the Ministry of State Security.
And in some countries, it has already been specifically identified as a political manipulation vector. So it is not just something that kids play around with. But let's go to one or two more audience.
So in our observatory, this is why we're mostly focusing on non-Western nations, because everybody's looking in the US and Europe. Like Taiwan, January 2020 is going to be a crazy online election for this kind of stuff.
It's not a 50-minute topic.